Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another session of Basic Yoga Flow. My name is Pamela, and I hope you're having a fantastic afternoon so far. Okay, props that you might need today, the usual 2 blocks. Okay, if you don't have blocks, you can also replace them with thick books or maybe water bottles of roughly the same height. And perhaps a towel would be great to pat your knees with when you're doing kneeling poses, and it could also act as a strap when you're doing forward folds, which we'll be focusing on that today. Okay, quite a bit of forward folds, okay? So once you're ready, let's get started. Just find a comfortable seat on your mat, okay, any cross-legged position. Sitting up tall from the base of your spine all the way to the crown of your head. Resting your palms on your knees. They could be facing upwards or down. Just see what comes naturally to you. And softly close your eyes. And so start to bring the awareness inwards. And begin to observe your breath moving in and out through your nose. Just keeping your breath smooth and gentle. And perhaps practice same count breathing. So you might be taking 5 or 6 seconds to complete 1 round of inhalation. And taking the same amount of time to complete your exhalation. Nice, and observing how your belly and your chest expands as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, your belly falls and chest softens. Now, as you continue to focus on your breath, use this time to let go of anything that doesn't serve you over the next 45 minutes. So letting go of any distractions, any thoughts that you had before stepping onto your mat this afternoon. Try your very best to stay both physically and mentally present. And if the mind does start to wander during your practice, which is very normal, simply observe that thought and let it go without judging it. And bring the awareness back to your own breath. Okay, a couple more rounds here with eyes still closed. On your next inhalation, blink open your eyes very slowly. Nice, now with your eyes open, let's continue with the seated side bend. So please walk your right hand out towards your right side. Okay, start to stretch your left arm overhead. So you're reaching through your left fingertips, roll your left shoulder back. Nice, and keeping that left shoulder away from your left ear. Now you can either stay here with your right elbow slightly bent, or option 2, if it's accessible, lower your right elbow down completely to the mat. Okay, so just making sure left hip stays down. Nice, now lengthen the left side of your body, roll the top shoulder back. Either looking upwards, forwards, or downwards. Inhale, back up to center. Slowly, other side. Okay, so walk the left hand out to your left. Stretch your right arm overhead. Okay, so reaching through your fingertips. Nice, okay, soften that left shoulder. Maybe even lowering your elbow down to the mat completely. Okay, so keep your right hip down. Nice, roll top shoulder back, breathe. And release, inhale, come back up to center. From here, come onto your hands and knees. Okay, so tabletop position. So if you need to, pat your knees with a towel at this point. Nice, and spread your fingers wide with index fingers pointing forward. Nice, and knees below your hips. Okay, you're going to go straight into a thread the needle. So keep your left palm on the mat. Stretch your right hand up on your inhale, reach it up. Exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left. Okay, so you're reaching your right hand towards the left side of the room, resting your face on the floor. Okay, so if for whatever reason your face can't touch the mat, you can always slide a block or maybe a rolled up towel underneath your face. Okay, so option 1, you can keep your left fingers on the mat close to your face. Option 2, walk your left hand forward towards the top edge of the mat. Okay, you might want to stay on your finger pads. Option 3, if it's accessible, take your half bind, internally rotate your left shoulder as you wrap your left hand across the back. And if you can, you're going to reach for your right hip with your left fingers. And gently twist, roll left shoulder back, pressing your right upper arm down into the floor. Okay, so keeping hips level here, breathe. Nice, now gently release your bind or walk your left hand back. Place your left palm on the mat next to your face. Slowly push yourself back up as you stretch your right hand up once more towards the ceiling. And exhale, release, lower your right hand down to the mat. Okay, so same thing on the other side. Stretch your left hand up on your inhale, reach it up. Exhale, thread your left arm underneath your right now. Okay, so you're resting left part of your face on the floor. Slowly pressing left shoulder down into the mat. Option 1, again, your right fingers could stay close to your face. Option 2, extend your right hand forward. Again, stay on your finger pads, so a little bit more active. Option 3, take your half bind. Okay, so wrap your right arm around. Again, maybe holding onto your left hip, if that's accessible. Spin that right shoulder back, pressing the floor with your left upper arm. So it's a twist. Okay, neck is relaxed, breathe. Nice, now release your bind. Lower the right hand down to the floor, push yourself back up. Slowly, as you stretch your left hand up towards the ceiling, and exhale, release. Lower your left hand down. Plank pose. Okay, so high push-up position. Nice. Now, can you stack the shoulders on top of your wrist? Grip the mat and press the floor away with all 10 fingers. Okay, so this being a weight-bearing pose, remember to grip the mat, especially with the base of your index fingers and your thumbs. Nice. Now, from this plank, lift your hips high as you find your first downward facing dog. Okay, so down dog again. Your hands are shoulder width, feet hip width. Okay, you might want to just move a little here for the next few moments. Could be bending one knee as you straighten your other leg, pressing the heel down into the floor. Okay, you could also be lifting both heels as you lower your heels down to your right. Coming back to center. And heels to the left. Some of you could also choose to gently shake and nod your head like you're saying yes and no, or no and yes. Okay, so strong arms here, press the floor away. Lift your hips really high towards the ceiling. And if you have tighter hamstrings, please just bend your knees. Okay, so don't round your back just to get your legs to straighten. Nice, and if you haven't done so, find stillness. And down dog. Again, just breathe through your nose normally. Nice. Now from here, moving along. Inhale, let's lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Okay, so 3-legged dog, straight leg. Can you keep your hips square? Okay, so right hip and left hip, same height. Look forward between your palms. Gently step your right foot forward. Softly. Lower your left knee down to the mat. Anjaneyasana, inhale, lift your chest up. Okay, so you might want to just pause here for a moment, hands pressing onto your right thigh. Nice, and once you're ready, you're going to stretch your arms overhead towards the ceiling. Okay, so adding on a variation with our hands today, hooking your thumb, so perhaps right thumb on top of left thumb for this round. So stretch out through your arms, lightly pull your thumbs apart energetically, okay, without actually splitting them. Continue to sit the hips down and forward. Squeeze your inner thighs together and drag your heels together energetically. Okay, so reach out through your arms, breathe. Nice, and next exhale, hands on the mat. Half split. Okay, so you might need your blocks here. Start to straighten your right leg as you shift your hips back. Okay, so keep your left thigh vertical. Can you flex your front foot? Okay, so if this looks like you, your hands can't touch the mat, place your blocks on either side of your right leg. Okay, so 3 heights to a block. Take the appropriate height that works for you. Nice, now flexing front foot. Hips are even, so both hip bones are facing the front. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, fold forwards. Okay, so as you're folding forwards, reaching the crown of your head forwards, some of you might be able to bring your belly closer to your right thigh. Maybe. Okay, if you're here, it's fine. Okay, so think about digging down to your right heel, drag your right foot back, tilting your pelvis back as you fold. Okay, one more big breath here. I'm going to do this a few more rounds. Nice, on your next inhale, halfway lift. Okay, so without moving your legs, can you now turn your right foot towards the right side edge of the mat? Okay, so you turn it out. Still keep your foot flexed. Nice, another inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forwards. So stretching a different part now of your hamstring. As you fold, again, crown of your head forwards. Press your right heel into the floor. Breathe. Nice, now inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Turning your right toes towards the left side edge of the mat now. Okay, so foot is still flexed. Spread your toes. Another inhale here, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Okay, so folding towards your toes like you want to touch your head with your toes. Nice, now inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Bring your toes back to neutral, so toes are pointing upwards. Walk your hands back now slightly. So try to line up your wrists with your shoulders. Come up a little bit higher in your finger pads if you're not already there. You're going to do a bit of active work. On your inhale, lift your chest. So just think of that little mini cobra upper back. Exhale, start to round your back. Press the floor with your finger pads. Plug your right thigh bone in. Can you try to float your right leg? Okay, so doesn't matter if it's not super high. Lift your right leg, and we're going to hold here for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lower your right heel down. Rebend your right knee, ground your foot. Moving into a down dog lunge. Here we'll do this step by step. Shifting the right foot, maybe about 1 inch to your right side. Still keeping the foot parallel to the long side edge of the mat. Lift your left knee and ground your back foot. Okay, so keeping your back foot totally flat. Right knee is pointing forward. Start to crawl your hands towards top left corner of the mat now. Okay, so notice the upper body still looks like a down dog. It's not a flat back. Press down through all 10 finger pads. Now keep your right knee pointing forward so your thigh isn't moving along with your upper body. Press the floor with your fingers and drag your heels together energetically. Breathe here. Nice, now slowly come back to the center of the mat. Frame your right foot with both hands. We'll come back in a runner's lunge. Okay, so you're back here now. Keeping that distance between your legs. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, start to straighten your right leg as you shift your hips back. Okay, so you might need your blocks again. Place them on either side of your right leg. Flexing your front foot. Take another inhale here. And exhale, fold. Okay, so folding over your right leg. Okay, so actively again, press right heel into the floor and drag your legs together like you want to crumple the mat between your legs. Nice, and slowly inhale, halfway lift. Rebend your knee to ground your foot. Slowly stepping back to a downward facing dog. Okay, so push the floor with your palms. Step your right leg back. Okay, so that was one side. I'm going to do those few poses on the other leg now. Slowly, inhale, lift your left leg up, three-legged dog. Okay, so again, square off your hips. Exhale, look forward. Step the left foot forward between your palms. Drop your right knee down to the mat. Anjaneyasana. Inhale, lift your chest up slowly. Okay, so again, you can stay here, maybe hands on your thigh. Option to stretch both your arms overhead. Okay, so again, squeezing inner thighs together. Those who have your arms overhead, can you please hook your thumbs now? So perhaps left thumb on top of your right. Do the opposite way. Lightly pull the thumbs apart energetically. Stretch out through your fingers. Descend the hips a little bit more while keeping your ribs in, belly in. Nice. Now from here, hands to the floor. Half split. Okay, so you're going to stay here for a while. Again, if you need to, please take a towel underneath your right knee, as I'm doing so. Straightening the left leg. Square off your hips. Okay, so take your left hip back. Flex your front foot. Hands on blocks or hands on mat. Inhale here, lengthen. Exhale, tip forward. Okay, so folding forwards. Again, maybe belly to your thigh. Cannot touch, never mind, okay? So press onto your left heel and drag your left foot back energetically. Nice, now inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Again, we're going to do this 3 more times. Turning your left foot out towards the left side now. Okay, so you don't shift your hips, just turn the foot out towards your left. Spread your toes, press onto your left heel. Another inhale, and exhale, we fold forward. Okay, so just noticing that sensation in your hamstring. A little bit of a different stretch. Breathe. Nice, now inhale back to center. Turn your toes the other way, so turning your left foot towards your right now, inwards. Okay, take an inhale here, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward slowly. Okay, so you're still keeping the spine long, you're not rounding here. Chest forward, breathe. Nice, now inhale back to center, slowly. Point your toes back upwards, okay, so foot back to neutral. Again, this is the active pose now. Walk your hands back. So lining up your wrists with your shoulders, okay? So if you have blocks at home, try this with blocks. It's going to be a lot more accessible that way, okay? So I'm going to demo this round with blocks. Hands below the shoulders. Again, another inhale. Think mini cobra upper back, looking forward. Exhale, round your back. So think cat pose, round. Press the floor with your hands, pluck your left thigh bone back, lift your left foot. Okay, I'm going to hold here for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lower your left heel down to the floor. Rebend your knee to ground your foot. Taking this into a down dog lunge. Again, so shifting left foot about 1 inch to your left side. Lift your right knee and ground your back foot. Okay, so right foot flat. Start to crawl your hands towards the top right corner of the mat. Okay, so notice the left knee is pointing forward. Again, upper body is a down dog, so you have that angle there. It's not a flat back. Ground onto your back foot. Drag your legs together energetically. Nice, so left thigh is moving away from your rib. Walk your hands back towards the center of the mat. Slowly. Runner's lunge first, so hands are framing your left foot as you spin the right heel up. Take an inhale here, you lengthen. Exhale, pyramid pose variation, straightening your left leg as you shift your hips back. Okay, so try to keep both legs straight. Notice the front knee is not hyperextending, okay, so keep your knees soft. Press onto your left heel, drag your heels together. Another inhale here, lengthen. Exhale, we fold forward. Okay, so folding towards your left toes. Nice long spine. Breathe. Nice. Now inhale, look forward halfway. Rebend your knee to ground your foot. Slowly stepping back. Downward facing dog. Left leg back. Nice. As you come back to down dog, just take this time to recenter. Check in with your breath. Okay, and pressing the floor with your palms while keeping your upper arms externally rotated. Bend both your knees slightly. Look forward at your hands. Take tiny steps all the way to the front. Come into a forward fold at the top edge of the mat. Okay, Uttanasana. So with your feet about hip width distance, take an inhale here as you lengthen. Exhale, fold forwards. Root to rise. Push down through your feet. Slowly roll up. Stacking your spine. Sweep your arms overhead. You're just letting your head be the last to come up. And exhale, hands to your heart center. Nice. Now from here, take a huge step back with your left leg. Okay, so just make sure you can still see the screen from wherever you are. Okay, so super wide stance. Stretch your arms out sideways. Okay, you're going to come into a warrior two. So roughly see if your ankles are lining up with your wrists. Once you're here, turn your right foot forward. Bend into your right knee. Okay, so if you can, you're going to bend your right knee to a square where you're stacking the knee on top of your ankle. And roughly lining up your right heel with the arch of your back foot. Okay, so if I were to draw a line, those 2 points should meet. Okay, so straight arms. Look past your right fingers. Nice, now keeping your left foot grounded. Breathe. Let's reverse. Flip your right palm up, inhale. Exhale, sweep your right arm overhead. Reach it back. Okay, so nothing changes with the lower half of your body. Legs are still the same. If you can, maybe side bend a little bit more. Option to look up, look forward, or look down. Okay, so left hand is light on your left leg. Nice, now slowly coming back up to warrior two. Nice, now from here, hands to hips. Turn your right foot in. We're going to do the same thing on the other leg now. So turn your left foot out towards the back. Bend into your left knee. Again, so lining up left heel with the arch of your back foot. Hip bones are even. Stretch your arms out. Okay, so if you can, bend your left knee a little bit more. This is too much for your legs, just soften that bend. Okay, so knee is tracking second toe. Look past your left fingers, breathe. All right, from here, let's reverse. Flip your left palm up, inhale. Exhale, sweep your left hand overhead, reach it back. Okay, so just taking this nice reverse warrior. Again, your legs here pressing down, dragging your heels together energetically. Inhale, come back up, warrior two. Hands to hips. Turn your left foot inwards. Okay, so you're going to have your feet parallel at this point. Keeping your hands to your hips, prasarita. When you inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, start to fold forwards. Slowly fold. And see if you're able to rest your hands on the mat. And just slide back a little bit. So if your hands can't quite touch the floor, use your blocks, place your hands on blocks. Okay, take an inhale here, you lengthen. Exhale, fold forwards. Okay, so folding forwards again. Think about bringing the crown of your head closer to the floor, if you can. And so those of you who already have your head touching the mat, shorten the distance between your feet slightly. So start to walk your hands back. Maybe lining up your hands with the arches of your feet as you push down through your legs and drag heels together, lifting the sitting bones high towards the ceiling. Okay, so legs are straight but not locking. One more big breath here. Next inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Okay, so without coming up fully, just stay here. You're going to turn your heels in. So you have your toes roughly pointing out 45 degrees to the side. Start to bend your knees, taking your goddess pose. Okay, so thighs are wide open. Try to stack your knees on top of ankles and knees in line with second toes. Okay, slowly just come up to resting your hands on your thigh. Okay, so thighs wide, tailbone lengthens down, keeping your ribs in. Option one, you can keep your hands on your thigh. Option two, stretch both your arms up towards the ceiling. If you can, you sit the hips a little bit lower. Nice, maybe even lifting all 10 toes. Okay, so lifting the toes, breathe. Hold for 3. Nice, okay, hip pose for 2. And for 1, hands to hips, slowly. Straighten your legs. Turn your heels back out. Okay, so we're back to parallel feet. Little toes can turn in slightly. Second round of prasarita. Hands to hips, inhale. Exhale, let's fold forward once again. So as you're folding forward, again, hinging forward from your hips. Okay, walk your hands back. So option to place your hands like where they were earlier, lining them up with the arches of your feet. Or even try holding on to your respective ankles now for this second round. Bending your elbows out sideways. Keep the shoulders softly away from your ears and perhaps bringing the crown of your head closer to the floor. Okay, so bend elbows sideways, breathe. Again, you're shifting the weight more to your toes. Nice, now inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Again, pausing here, goddess pose, turn your heels in. So again, feet about 45 degrees out to the side. Bend your knees slowly. Okay, and take your time, rise back up. Okay, so knees are bent, thigh bones wide. So everyone's goddess might look a little bit different. Some of you might need to turn your toes in more. You might need to even shorten the distance between your feet. Okay, so knees on top of ankles, sit the hips a little bit lower. Again, option one, stay here, hands on thigh. Option two, stretch your arms out towards the ceiling. Nice, okay, so maybe again try, lift all 10 toes. As you push down through your big toe mound of your feet, breathe. Again, holding for 3, for 2, and for 1. Hands to hips, slowly. Straighten your legs. Turn your heels back out. Nice. Now from here, can you turn your right foot forward? Simple transition. Step your left foot to the front. That's all. Okay, so coming back to the top edge of the mat with your feet hip width distance. Inhale, stretch your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold forwards, staying here for a little while in your right dog. Okay, so you can always start with bent knees. Grab hold of opposite elbows. As you just let your head dangle, or let your body dangle. Okay, keeping your head and neck relaxed. If you wish, go ahead, sway gently side to side. Okay, so just letting gravity take over here in your right dog. Again, you're shifting the weight more to your toes. Some of you, if it's accessible, keeping the belly close to your thighs, start to lift the sitting bones higher towards the ceiling as you eventually straighten the legs a little bit more. Nice. Now, wherever you are, slowly release your hands. Separate your feet to about mid-width distance. Malasana. Turn your toes out. Coming into your yogi squat. Okay, so I'm just going to turn around to face you. You should be at the top edge of the mat now. Hands to heart center. Okay, gently push your thigh bones out to the side. So if this is a difficult position for you, feel free to sit on a block like that. Okay, so a little bit more supported. Nice. Otherwise, hands to heart. Push your thigh bones out to the side nicely. Okay, keep your spine long. And as you push your thigh bones wide open, you think about resisting that too. The thighs are pressing back into your upper arms. Nice. Now from Malasana, I'm just going to turn back to face the front where you should be facing now. Hands on the floor. Slowly step your left leg back. Okay, so left leg steps back. Lizard. Okay, so front shin is vertical. So your right knee's on top of ankle. Turn your right toes out slightly. Now option 1, you can stay here, you're on hands. Option 2, lower down to the block on your forearms. Option 3, your elbows could be on the mat directly. Only if it's accessible. Okay, so elbows line them up with the arch of your right foot. Keep your hips level. And you can just look softly at the space between your thumbs. Next, can you squeeze your right knee in a little bit closer to your right shoulder? Okay, so stretching front part of your left thigh, your hip flexor. Minor stretch on the groin area in your right side. Minor stretch on your right hamstring. Nice, now from here, push yourself back up onto your palms, slowly. Variation time. Lower the left knee down to the mat or pat your left knee with a towel, as I'm doing so. Can you bend your left knee? Reach your right hand back, so that's your opposite hand. Grab hold of the little toe side of your left foot. Okay, so little toe side. Draw the heel closer to your bum. Again, you could be touching it. Try to touch it. Nice. Curl that right shoulder back. Okay, so still keeping front shin vertical. Sit the hips down and forward. Okay, so if you're staying this quad stretch, you want to drag right heel back towards your left knee energetically. Okay, so always keeping that pose active. It's not just sinking into the pose. Nice, now re-straighten your left leg. Slowly. Both hands on the mat. Look forward. You're going to step your left foot outside of your left hand. Coming back into that Malasana, your yogi squat. Okay, so hands to heart center. We were here before. Pushing the thigh bones out wide to the side. Okay, so sit up taller. Keeping the ribs in, tailbone down. Okay, let's do a lizard on the other side. So hands on the mat, step right foot back now. Okay, so step your right foot back. So your left foot should be outside of your left hand. You're keeping your knee on top of ankle and knee in line with your second toe. Option 1, stay here. 2, again, use your blocks to help you. So if you can't quite touch your elbows on the mat directly, use your blocks or use your books. Okay, option 3, elbows on the mat. Okay, so try to just keep your elbows in line with the arch of your left foot. So if you have your foot somewhere behind now, again, that's your cue to step the foot forward. Got light already, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, where were we? We went lizard pose. Okay, so yeah, elbows on the floor, keeping the elbows in line with the arch of your left foot. Hips are level. Breathe. Slowly coming back onto your palms. Hands on the mat. This time around, we're going to step back to a downward facing dog. Okay, so step your left foot back. Coming back to your inverted V shape as I clip my mic back. Okay, so come back to your down dog. Again in down dog. So if you're not quite sure of the distance for down dog, feel free to shift forward to plank, adjust it, and then lift your hips back. Getting down dog, press the floor with your palms. Lift the sitting bones high. Nice. Now inhale. Let's lift your right leg up to three-legged dog. So earlier on, we did normal three-legged dog with square hips. Can we take this into a scorpion tail now? So start to turn your hips open towards your right side. Bend your right knee. Point your right knee up towards the ceiling. Okay, so squeezing the right heel to your bum. Level your shoulders. Next, look forward at your hands. Slowly bring your right shin to the front. Lining up your right knee behind your right wrist. Ankle behind your left. Finding your pigeon pose. Okay, so hips squaring forward. Nice, and just check, is your left hip, left knee, toes, and heel in line with each other? So if it's possible, shin is parallel. If it's too much for you, please bring your foot a little bit closer to your hip bone. Nice, slowly. Okay, take an inhale here. And on your exhale, you're going to fold forwards. So as you fold, you could be staying on your forearms. Some of you might choose to walk your hands forward, forehead on the mat. Okay, so your right knee is facing a 1 or 2 o'clock direction. Okay, if you could visualize that clock face there. Okay, noticing any sensation in your outer right hip. And again, squeezing your right hip back towards your left knee. Coming back up, walk your hands back towards your shin. Sit upright. Once you're here, shift the weight to your right hip. Slowly bring your left foot forward as you step your left foot in front of your right shin now. Okay, so a little bit of adjustment here. Bring the right heel closer to your groin. Okay, you're sitting up tall. Kranchasana. Holding on to your left foot with both hands. Slowly take an inhale, and as you exhale, lift your left shin as best as you can. Okay, so some of you could maybe get that straight leg. If this is not for you today, you could be holding on to maybe your calf, or if you have a towel, this is where it will come in handy. Take a towel around your left foot. Sit up tall, stretch your left leg up. Okay, so you could be doing this, and maybe over time, start to walk your hands down closer towards your left foot. And if you can, you're going to bring your left shin closer to your face. Okay, as you're doing so, again, spine is long. Keep your left sitting bone down. Sit up a little bit taller. Spread your toes. Breathe. Nice, very slowly. Lower your left foot back down to the floor. If you're using a towel, move it to the side. Just a transition back to a down dog. So crossing at your ankles, rock forward to a tabletop, and slowly step back to an inverted V. Okay, so repeating the same 2 poses on the other leg now. Lifting your left leg up towards the ceiling. Okay, scorpion tail first, bend your knee. Turning your hips open towards your left side. Okay, so squeezing left heel to bum, left kneecap up towards the ceiling. Shoulders level. Into your pigeon. Look forward. Bring that left knee behind your left wrist. Ankle behind your right. Slide your right leg back. Okay, so hips are squaring forward. Again, you're not sinking onto your left side. If your left hip isn't touching the mat, that's okay. Okay, keep a more active pigeon. Squeezing left knee to right knee. Shin again, maybe parallel, maybe less parallel to the top edge of the mat. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, fold forwards. Okay, so it could be on forearms. You could be walking your hands forward. So those who have your left shin parallel to the top edge of the mat, you want to remember to flex your left foot. Okay, just protect your knee. Okay, and then noticing again your right hip, right knee, right toes, the heel, they all line up with each other. Breathe here. Coming back up, walk your hands back towards your shin slowly. Lean the weight to your left hip. Bring your right leg forward and step your right foot outside or in front of your left shin. Draw the left heel closer to your groin. Kranchasana. Holding onto your right foot with both hands. Okay, so sit up taller. Inhale. And as you exhale, start to straighten your right leg. Again, as best as you can. Take another inhale here, lengthen. Exhale, draw that right shin closer to your face. Okay, so spread your toes. Again, if you need to, use that towel, loop it around your right foot. Okay, draw the shoulders down, away from your back, around from your neck, away from your neck. Breathe. Nice, now gently release, rebend your right knee. Lower your right foot down to the floor. Nice, now from here, just lie down onto your back. Okay, so if you know you probably need a towel with that hamstring poses, place a towel next to you within arm's length. Slowly lie down onto your floor. Nice, now keeping your left leg straight on the mat, start to hug the right knee to your chest. Okay, so fingers are interlaced around your right shin, shoulders down on the mat, collarbones broad. Supta Padangusthasana. Okay, so I'm going to start with the easy option. Use your towel. Loop that towel around your right foot. Okay, so you can hold the towel with both hands as you start to straighten your right leg up towards the ceiling. Okay, so if you can hold a shorter length of the towel, walk your hands closer to your foot. Nice, okay, and shoulders aren't lifted. Okay, so you want to keep the shoulders down onto the floor. Nice, now left hip stays down. Wherever you are, start to bring that right shin closer to your face. So notice this is the same action as in the pose we just did moments ago in Kranchasana. Again, shin closer to face, as best as you can. Nice, with your left leg, again, keep the foot active, press that left heel into the floor. If you need, your left palm could also be on your left thigh bone. Ground that left hip down. Okay, so draw the right shin closer to your face and hold. Straighten that right leg without locking it. Nice. Now we're going to lower the right foot down towards your right side. Okay, so if you haven't already done so, left palm on top of left thigh bone. Start to lower your right foot down towards your right. Okay, so again, it doesn't matter if the foot isn't touching the mat. You might be here now. Stay. Okay, just making sure, again, you're not lifting your left hip just to lower your right foot down. Keep your hips level. If it helps, left palm, place it on top of your thigh bone. Nice. I'm just going to add on one more. Can you shift your left foot towards the bottom left corner of the mat? Okay, so just widening that space between your inner thighs. Continue to press that left heel down. For those who can, maybe lifting that right foot a little bit higher sideways. So think about bringing the foot closer to your face. Nice, now coming back to center, bring the left foot back towards the middle. Lift your right leg back up towards the ceiling. Slowly release, lower your right foot down to the mat. Okay, other side, keep your right leg straight. Start with bending your left knee as you hug the knee into your chest. Okay, so right foot's active, spread your toes. Nice. Okay, so earlier on I showed the option of using towel. For those who can, maybe without the use of your towel, you're going to catch off your left big toe with your index and middle finger and straightening your left leg up towards the ceiling this way. Okay, so left shoulder down. Right hand again, I like to place my right hand on top of thigh bone. Again, reminder to keep your hip level. And start to bring your left shin closer to your face. Again, so if this is too much for you, towel around your left foot. Okay, so keep that left leg straight. Draw the shin closer. Hold this pose for just a few more seconds. Keep breathing. And from here, if you're holding onto your big toe, just keep the same grip. If you're holding onto a towel, hold it with your left hand only. Right hand on your right thigh bone. Start to open up. Gently lower your left foot down towards your left side. Okay, so pushing right hip down. From here, can you now shift your right foot towards the bottom right corner of the mat? Okay, so you're still keeping your right foot flexed. Nice, now come back to center. Bring your right knee back towards the middle as you lift your left leg back up towards the ceiling. Gently release, lower your left foot down to the mat. Nice, now once you're here, bend both your knees. Okay, you're going to take a Garudasana spinal twist before we finish it. Stretching your arms out sideways. Cross your right thigh on top of your leg, on top of your left leg, eagle legs. Moving the hips a little bit towards your right side now. Can you twist as you lower your knees down to your left, gently looking past your right shoulder. So if you don't have the space at home to stretch out your arms this way, you could always do cactus arms. Okay, maybe even placing your left hand on top of your right thigh. So right shoulder stays down. Okay, as you're twisting, Feel as though you are doing like a little mini cobra upper back as you keep the right side of your waist longer. Okay, so more space between your right hip bone and your right armpit. Start to slow down your breath. Nice, now release your twist. Back to center, slowly. Change the cross of your legs. Okay, so left thigh on top of right. Move the hips a little bit to your left and drop your knees down to your right. Okay, so left shoulder, press it down to the floor. If you can, you're going to bring your knees a bit higher towards your chest and belly. Again, so hips are level, hips are compact. So your left hip isn't hiking upwards. Draw your left hip down towards the bottom edge of the mat energetically. Gently release your twist, come back to center. Uncross your legs now. Hug both your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. Okay, so holding on to opposite elbows or forearms. Lifting your head as you bring forehead or nose to your knees. Okay, just giving yourself a final squeeze, hug tight like a ball. And slowly let it go. Shavasana. Straightening your legs. And just separate your feet to about mat width distance. Hands away from your body. Palms facing upwards. Close your eyes. So take as much space as you need here on your mat. Just let your toes turn out naturally and your fingers curl naturally. Softening once again the space between your eyebrows. Relaxing your jaw. And shrug your shoulders. And just letting go of your practice. As you allow your body to be completely present, completely still, as it absorbs all the benefits from your practice earlier. Okay, if you have a little bit more time on your hands, I would again highly recommend for you to take a longer Shavasana. Otherwise, start to bring the awareness back to your body by moving your fingers, moving your toes. Bring your legs together to touch. Stretch your arms overhead, interlacing your fingers, flip your palms upwards. Point your toes, and as you inhale, take a nice, good wake-up stretch. And on your exhale, release. Bend both your knees. With your eyes still closed, roll over to your right side for a very short while. Okay, resting on your right upper arm. With eyes still closed, push yourself back up to any comfortable seat facing the front. Okay, so take your time here. Now, once you're up and seated, you can either keep your hands on your knees or join me in Anjali Mudra with your palms together to touch at your heart center. Bringing the awareness back to your body and back to this present moment on your mat in your room. By blinking your eyes open very, very slowly. Namaste. Thank you everyone for joining me today, for sharing your practice with me. Okay, please have a great weekend ahead. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next week, same time, same place, here at 3 p.m. Thank you. Have a great weekend ahead. Bye.